Hi, Ellen Light, integrative healer, here to talk to you today about the primary causes for physical pain. So, we have weak muscles, skeletal imbalance, inflammation, and chronic stress as our four primary contributing factors. So, I think that a lot of us might think about, physical therapy, which is addressing weak muscles and muscle imbalances, or possibly you've gone to a chiropractor to address those skeletal imbalances and the bones that aren't sitting exactly where they should be. So let's talk about that first. So if we're looking at weak muscles, you could go to a physical therapist and get assessed from head to toe of what's weak, what's imbalanced, you know, the particular area where you're having pain, what muscles can help support that you can strengthen to reduce pain. And I have worked with for back pain. Emily Lark is amazing. She has Facebook and free videos, and this program, if you watch the commercial and click yes at the right time, was like $47 for Back to Life. And doing a hip flexor psoas stretch with Emily some years ago, like got me out of bed. Um, so I'm forever grateful to her, and she's such a darling teacher. What I like about her program is that it shows the pictures, or you can run a DVD. It's very simple, and then there's three different levels. And if you even just do level one in a chair, it will keep you moving, build your core strength in a sneaky, easy way, so that core is getting built up. Now, if you're having pain in different parts of your body, I highly recommend the exercises in the back of this book by Dr. Dikaria, Break the Chronic Pain Cycle. And you can look up the area that you're having pain with and check in on the recommended stretches and exercises. It's another good source. Or you can find a local physical therapist or exercise physiologist. I cannot stress the importance of having a good strengthening program. We need to keep our core strong no matter, well, obviously there are some people that might have a limitation to it, but the rest of us are the limitation in laziness. So we have to remember, keep that core, suck it in, and keep those core muscles working, because they help so much of everything, including help us look better and feel better and support our backs. Okay, so what else do we want to say about exercise? This past year, I had another round of pain in my life. After you go for some years without pain and another cycle comes back, you're like, oh my God, am I going to get through and out of this pain cycle? So I started with an exercise physiology guy and started doing these exercises, was feeling strong, strong, strong. But I was having an area that wasn't getting better. Some muscles were still tight. I was still having some pain in my left hip and femur. So I saw a chiropractor, and he said to me, I don't think you have a hip problem. I think there's something going on in your spine that's referring pain over. So that brings us then to the skeletal. So I know that we love pictures and data, but I was frankly better off before I had the pictures and data. I'm not saying you shouldn't have them, because sometimes it's really good to know what's going on so you know how to treat it. But in my case, in just a few months ago, I had x-rays. It showed some deterioration. It showed, gosh, the name is, it's not kyphosis, it's spondylolisthesis, yes, where the discs, instead of stacking up straight, it's like over, and it's not sitting where it should be. So of course then you wouldn't want to make that go further, by bending forward and having it slip more. So I was actually worse after I saw the x-rays, and the chiropractor recommended, well, maybe you better not do the exercises your physiologist gave you because they might be making you worse. So then I had the fear from seeing the x-rays, and I stopped doing the exercises, and I got worse. I got weaker. I was more frightened. And then I shifted over to seeing a skeletal specialist, a chiropractor that does the traction, disc and spine specialist. There may be a more fancy name for that traction, decompression. And so then I was doing decompression, spending lots of money twice a week to decompress. And he said, I don't think it's your spine. I think it's something else. So, I mean, we can really go down a lot of rabbit holes. And that's why it's really smart. And should we take our own medicine? It's like, okay, if we had just gotten the pendulum out and said, okay, what's this primary cause, where it's coming from, what treatment do you need next? But sometimes it's very hard to be your own doctor. I should have been more motivated, right? So we know for weak muscles, we need to either create an exercise program for ourselves, go to a physical therapist or exercise physiologist. So if it's a skeletal problem, it means the bones aren't sitting where they should be, and so they could be creating pain. So typically then somebody is going to see a chiropractor for that, or perhaps a massage therapist will relax the muscles so that the bones can find their way home, and probably with a little help of magnesium at bedtime to relax those muscles even more. There are many kinds of chiropractors. My favorite are the ones that do applied kinesiology, because they can test and listen and get feedback from your body. So instead of them just doing everything to you, they'll be asking your body, did it hold? Is it this? Is this weak? Does she need this? And many of them can even test if you need supplements in that way, but definitely to see, holding, like if this were my leg, then my chiropractor would be saying to his scribe, blah, 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 and he's naming off the muscles that aren't firing, that aren't doing their job to be able to keep the leg up. So if you can find an AK, applied kinesiology chiropractor, I think those are really optimal. Many of them have additional schooling, and they often would work with your soft tissue and supplements, as well as just adjusting the bones. And for those of you that don't want to, so those of you that are not crack addicts, that don't like the crack, there are chiropractors that have a device called an activator, and it taps and activates those parts that are being tapped on to wake them back up and help them get back to their home place. All I can say is it works. And the activator is more gentle than any harsh bone adjusting. So if you feel like you might have a skeletal issue, but you don't want to be cracked, find a chiropractor that will do the activator for you. Okay, so that is about the muscles and bones. And the next two are inflammation and chronic stress. Maybe we should put that on a separate video so you get a break from whatever you're doing. Okay, take a break, have some water, then come back and we'll talk about inflammation and chronic stress. See you soon.